Darn. So here's the thing. I was recording a different video to be my first video of the year, and then I see all these videos come out about the Panasonic S5 Mark II. So I think I have to do this one first. Hello, welcome to my channel. I like to talk about cameras specifically for video, and in this case, hybrid cameras as well. So stick around if you'd like to talk about that type of stuff. And the S5 Mark II was recently announced, and a lot of YouTubers got to actually try it out and got their hands on it. And I started watching them just to see kind of what my opinion, or if I have an opinion on that camera, would be. Now, there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the camera, so let's go over a few specs. I have it listed here on the side. So it can do 6K at 3:2 ratio, which is pretty cool. That's specifically useful when you're recording videos for like TikTok and YouTube and you want both formats, and it's pretty handy. Now it also has 5.9K 16:9 recording, 420 10-bit. You can do 4K recording at 422 10-bit, up to 60 frames per second. Although the 60 frames per second, I believe, has a crop. And then you could do 3.3K recording, 422 10-bit, and then of course full HD, 422 10-bit. Like I said, the 4K 60 has a bit of a crop. All these nice, interesting features, but really what makes this camera stand apart from other Panasonic cameras has to be, it's the phase detect autofocus. No more Panasonic giving us the contract detect autofocus that they have. The death by defocus is like the best thing ever. No, they finally came out of the woodwork realizing that you have to do phase detect autofocus if you want to compete in today's camera industry. Now, this is their first step into it, so it's not perfect, but it's damn good from what I've seen. It's not, again, it still does have its little kinks to work out with. I watched Tony Northrup's video on it, and he noticed that there still was some pulsing in specific situations. For the most part, it's not bad at all. And watching these different videos, I get the impression, especially from those that have tested it, that it's good enough if you want to rely on that autofocus. Now, one thing that Panasonic is known for, and actually did a pretty good job with this camera, is their IBIS. IBIS seems to be incredibly competitive. It's almost like you don't need a gimbal with this camera, which is really what makes it interesting to me in particular, because you can record and really handhold a camera, and it's almost like you're either on a gimbal or on a tripod, and it's really amazing. Sure, at wider than like 20, you'll still have some like IBIS wobble that you get. But having IBIS, especially since I've used IBIS on the R5, and it's not perfect, far from it, it saved me from many scenarios where I actually need that little bit extra steady push to make sure I get a shot right. And to have it in this S5 at $2,000 is really competitive. Now, do I think that this camera competes with other competitive brands? And I think it does, especially at this price point. Panasonic is really starting to push it next tier level. Now, there's other features that they left out because they're going to put it in their S5 Mark II X version. So a lot of it has to do with external recording in ProRes, external recording in ProRes RAW, and using the USB-C port to be able to record directly to a hard drive, which is something that I've been using on the Blackmagic for a long time now. And I can tell you that saves so much time when it comes to recording and then delivering your video, because you don't have to waste time transferring the footage from card to hard drive. So that in itself is a must-have. It's incredible, and I'm glad that they decided to put it in the S5 Mark II X. But what do I think of the S5 Mark II? You know, the previous S5 disappointed me with its crop in the higher frame rates from 4K, and this one kind of does the same thing. It's still got a crop, but in itself, especially for the price point and the fact that they've got the autofocus improved and the IBIS, which is incredible, it would mean that this camera, or at least the S5 Mark II X, would be a camera that I actually would look at. At this point, I almost prefer it to Sony because of the IBIS. Sony's IBIS is something that I've never really been too much of a fan of, but Sony's been smart in the fact that they haven't made it too crazy so that they can make sure that the footage doesn't look warpy, which is what they're trying to avoid with those cameras. And at this price point, it really means that at an APS-C price point, you have the ability to pick up a full frame camera and get it to work really well. Now, yeah, you have your options like the Canon EOS R or the RP, which are much more inexpensive cameras, but they don't have anywhere near the features that this Panasonic does have. Now, will I be picking it up? No, I don't need it. I'm at a different price point when it comes to cameras that I'm interested in. I've got the R5, which does everything that this camera does and a few extra features, though it doesn't have that external USB-C recording or unlimited recording, unfortunately. But it's not something that I need right now, but for those that are looking for a full-frame camera that they can use as a video camera and they don't have any other pre-existing lenses, this is a good choice. Now, you can convert, say, Canon EF glass to the Panasonic body, but then your features, functionality, and autofocus won't work as well. So it's almost like your best bet is to really join that lens family and purchase those lenses. But then you're kind of stuck there for a little while. Anyway, that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of this new camera. I'm curious to hear of the comments down below. And as always, you can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. See you guys later.